Hi, I'm Coleman. I'm the assistant chaplain at Bryn College. We're just starting up our third week of online classes in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak. I've been talking to people about how they're doing, and a number of people have used the word overwhelmed. That word overwhelmed literally has the image of being underwater, being submerged under the water. And that image is actually one that comes up throughout the word a number of times. It's a universal human experience of feeling underwater. So I've been thinking about that and reflecting in particular on a passage from the Gospel of Matthew. This is from Matthew, part of chapter 14. So in this, Jesus has gone up on a mountain to pray, and his disciples are out on a boat. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a ghost." And they cried out for fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." So I love that image of Peter seeing Jesus walking on the water and having so much faith, enough to say, "I'm going to step out of the boat and I'm going to walk on water to him." And I think we can relate to that. Times when we feel hopeful and positive, we're going to start something, even if it seems hard, even if it seems impossible, and we step out and we think, I'm doing it. And then we look around and we see there's a storm, there are waves, there is way too much. What did we get ourselves into? And we start to sink. We start to feel overwhelmed. And in those moments, like Peter, we can cry out, "Lord, save me." And my favorite part of the story is Jesus reaching out, grabbing him by the hand and pulling him back up. Because, well, I think it would be great if Peter was able to just stay on top of the water and walk all the way out there. That is not the way it always happens. It's inevitable that there's going to be times when we start sinking. One of my favorite passages from the book Arcana Coelestia is about times when we're in spiritual trials, spiritual temptations, when we feel like we're sinking. It says, "Every person's power is limited. And when a temptation or a trial arrives at the furthest limit of the person's power, the person cannot sustain anything more, but sinks down. But then, when he is on the downhill course, he is raised by the Lord and thus liberated from despair, and is then, for the most part, brought into a clear state of hope and of the consequent consolation, and also into good fortune." I love that it simply says a person can't help but get to this point. We get to those points where we are sinking and there's nothing we can do about it. But there's hope on the other side. And so even if we think of the worst case scenario and then the worst case scenario happens, there's still something on the other side. We can still cry out, "Lord, save me." He's still there to catch us. I want to close with a prayer from the book of Psalms, from Psalm 69. "Deliver me out of the mire, and let me not sink. Let me be delivered from those who hate me, and out of the deep waters. Let not the flood water overflow me, nor let the deep swallow me up, and let not the pit shut its mouth on me. Hear me, O Lord, for your loving kindness is good. Turn to me according to the multitude of your tender mercies." Amen.